Hey guys, welcome back. This episode, I want to concentrate on getting that chassis done. Before I can do that, I've got to do a bit of tinkering with this welder, which I've already done. My welder was stolen a few years back, and I've kind of inherited this one to use. It's had a couple of problems. I've had to do a few fixes. I'll bring you down to show you what we've done. We've replaced the gas tap because these old ones are just crap. We had to build a spool lock because it was missing. It was just hanging off there. And then the tip of the welder, what I've done is the electrode was sticking out of the end. So I don't know if you can just see, I've put a spacer in there, which is just a bit of old fuel line. It's insulated and it pushes the tip. So now we can see that tip is looking pretty good. And what it was, I tested it with a weld. And let's have a look. Let's get some light on this. You can see there that I should be able to see it. It was crap. It was really pitted and horrible because the gas wasn't getting into it because the tip was out. So I'm going to give that a test now to see if we fixed that problem. But also, I am really excited about this parcel. A friend of mine, Parky, he's been a bit bored on lockdown and set himself a little project. And I will open this at the end. I'm really excited about this. Right, let's test this welder out and then let's get working on that chassis. Right, let's test it out. With it on. Obviously, I need to play with the settings, but that is now a nice clean weld and not this horrible stuff there. So, that'll do. Bit of practicing, and then I'll get onto that chassis. Okay, onto the chassis. What I want to do today is I'm going to cut down here to get that off. And do the same over on that side to free it up from all the rest of the chassis. This is rotten and no good to anybody, so I'll probably chop that off as well. I'll take all these old components off here, we'll get this cleaned up, and then we'll place it against the chassis over there, measure up, and then cut off what we don't need off that chassis, and weld the two together. Right, that's freed up. I've checked both these angles to the best I can using a protractor, and they both appear to be 130 degrees, which means that we can just run with this. I don't have to change the angle of this at all. So we're going to cut off as little as possible from here and only weld on what we need from this other part. Now I'm going to take the brush cup on it in a moment and get this all nice and shiny, but you can see quite high up here we got a bit of damage, so I'm probably only going to take this from this point here. This side looks a lot better, but we've seen that all the way along the chassis. One side seems to be better than the other, so I think probably from there on that side, and I'll probably do the same on the other side, but we'll see. So I also need to cut off as much of this now as possible, but I want to, let's say, save this good steel. There's my foreman. Hello, cat. What's your opinion? Good part? Not impressed. So, come on camera, focus on the part, not the cat. So all this middle bit is solid. But you can see here, just after brush cupping, you can see that quite high up there we've got some rot. So we only want to take this from not too far below the steering box support. Okay, I've been doing a lot of pondering. And I'm going to cut this across here and up there. Over there and across there to get rid of that. I'll do the same on the other side. And then I'll have a look at what we got. And I'll measure up. And then if I need to take more off, I will. I'm going to cut this one first because this is cheaper to replace. Okay, so I've cut these back to there. This is being cut and cleaned up and it will slot into the top of that, and then we'll seam weld around there, seam weld up on here, and they should be nice and strong. Now what I'm going to do now is just treat all this with rust preventer or rust cure. So we've got this here where it's rotted through on this one patch. So I'm going to cut this out. And then off this steel here, I'll cut a matching piece. And we'll get that welded in. That's my practice weld. Not bad, I don't think, for my first bit of welding in about 12 years. Yeah. Good penetration in there. It's not too raised or too flat. Oh, focus. Yeah. And that started off welding a narrow gap and pushing up to a bigger gap because we got a bit of a gap in that panel. And I also tested the weld through primer. Come on, focus. And I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it did weld through it. It's fine. Last job of today is to get that painted in the primer, and then tomorrow we'll get that welded on. Another one there. Oh, another one there. I'm going to need to weld up. I don't know whether to cut that out and plate that as well. Let's see. Right. That's enough for today. It's 3 o'clock. I've come up against a major problem on this build. The main chassis rails here are a centimetre narrower than the old chassis. So I've got a decision to make before I carry on. I can either cut down the outside of these, flare them out a little bit, because there's only, it's half a centimetre either side, and then weld them in and fix it back up. Or I could take this bar out, flare the rails back to the right width, and remake these ends up at the bottom of these, so it sits in properly. But also, this is for a Rialto, so these mounting points are in the wrong place. So I could just change this. If I stuck with just flaring this out, I could stick with a Rialto radius arm, or I can chop this out, get some bar stock, some square bar stock, and weld a square bar in. So we get these at the right distance apart. We put the square bar in, cut these off, and weld them to the bar to make the holders for this radius arm. Now, looking at this old piece I've chopped off, the bar is only welded on the outside, so I kind of think the right thing to do would be to chop this out, get some square bar stock, weld it in, cut these off, make up the new mountings, and stick with the original radius arm. So I'm not going to rush ahead. I'm going to end the welding and the cutting here for this week, while I sit down and ponder this a bit more and decide what I'm going to do. I don't really like the idea of just cutting these in flare, and then it doesn't sit right to me. It feels like a bodge, and I want to do it properly. So I'm going to ponder that. But what I did say at the start is I'm quite excited to open this package. This is off my mate Parky. And while on lockdown, he has made a little something. And these, no, I haven't seen these yet. You have seen these at the same time as me. Look at these. He has 3D printed me some Reliant badges, but with the RSV Aprilia logo on it. I've got a couple of different styles here. One flat one, and then two with the raised edges, so we can put some enamel paint in there and paint these up. They are absolutely wicked. So, cheers, Parky. I love those. They're awesome. It's just pop it on the front of the car, is it, and see what she's going to look like. And one there next to the badge. I think that's going to look absolutely wicked. And one on the boot. But the boot's not on the car. The boot's tucked over there. Okay, so that's it for this episode, guys. It's a shame we haven't got as far as we wanted to get, but these things happen, and I'd rather share everything that goes wrong as well as everything that goes right. So a bit of pondering what to do in this. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Cheers, thanks a lot, and stay safe.